When you think of umpires, you think of the MLB, with officials who throw out coaches and make strike calls. But what you don't think of are the officials of lower level ball. I've been an umpire for 2 years, starting off in Little League as a volunteer and now high school ball as an independent contractor. So even at this low level, are umpires still seen as a scapegoat, or is it just the MLB where you see this behavior of crazy coaches, crazy umpires, and especially crazy fans and players? Hi, my name's Avion Wake, and I played ball for most of my life. Once I started my transition, I changed from catching pitches to calling them. I thought it would be easy having 12 years of play under my belt, but it wasn't at all. This is a USA rulebook. In here is 220 pages worth of equipment regulations, field regulations, interference, obstruction, every call you can think of. Here's Little League, whole nother rulebook, whole other league. And there's also VHSL, which is for high school in Virginia, which has their own rulebook and their own set of rules. Every league has a different set of rules, and every umpire has to learn every single rule in each and every book. Other than the rules, there's something called umpire mechanics and the umpire manual. USA publishes a manual every year to teach umpires how to be in the right angle, field position, and everything like that. That's good, right? You want umpires who are getting paid to make state championship decisions know what they do. So why do umpires still get this scapegoat call against them? And will that ever change? Here you see a 16-year-old pitching about 45 to 50 miles per hour. At a distance of 63 feet in Little League, this is the age where players start to gain some real speed and movement. So the umpire, plate umpire in this situation, most likely during a one-man game, will have all the plays, from the pitching mechanics to the actual pitch, to safe or out, play interference, obstruction, and whatever the fans or coaches like to voice afterwards. This perspective is really unique. Most coaches, players, and parents will never get to see this point of view. It is different from the catcher's point of view, since the catcher sits lower and actually catches the ball. But the umpire must sit higher and a little bit towards the left, so that they can catch the outside of the plate and make sure they see everything happening in front of them. The plate umpire must catch the ball off of the pitcher's hand, follow it to cross the plate and into the catcher's glove. Doing all of this while having a goal squat in front of her and a goal hit in the batter's box. This is a really difficult thing to do, especially since a lot of people blink. Blinking is one of the hardest things to get over as an umpire, and as a plate umpire, is the most important thing to do. With this, you can understand why umpires go through a lot of training and pay a lot of fees to get insurance on their games. We master the art of not flinching. Behind the plate, we cannot blink at a certain moment to make sure that we see the call clearly. It is our job. This is why a lot of really, really good umpires go through organizations. Those associations that will hire independent contractors to work for them. For example, for the past 2 months, I spent every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 hours every day, training with an organization in Northern Virginia. I learned how to call strikes, interferences, obstructions, and everything like that. It is truly important to be part of an association when you're an umpire, because you get paid for insurance and you get really good training. You get this association to have your back and to understand that you are part of a group of umpires who all have worked hard and are teaching other umpires to do the same. I just got home from one of my trainings up in DC. Really, really good. It was my last training of the entire season. So overall, I worked on a lot of calling pitches, getting into what we call the slot, which is behind the catcher, so I don't get hit. I did get hit a few times. The biggest struggle of mine is working behind the plate with adults, like truly like 17 and 18-year-old fast pitchers who are doing like 65 to 68 miles per hour. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And it's really exciting to see how these adult umpires handle everything. I'm the youngest by at least 12 to 18 years. I think the next person up is like 29, 30 years old. So it's really cool to see how these adults like all kind of so much more mature and they understand a lot more. we had a conversation today about perspective, which is really funny since I started writing this before going to the last training, about how if we ever talk to a coach, how perspective is super important, how perspective teaches everyone a lot, like that they don't have our point of view, they don't see what we see. So yeah, talked a lot about what to do with coaches, about how the association really doesn't have any ejections under our belt because there's no reason to eject a coach. They pay us, we work for them, which is a really important thing to remember, and that's a thing a lot of umpires have to remember, that we work for the players and we work for the coaches. So if they end up not liking us, they can ask for us not to come back, which is really important because we work for them. So we have to make the right calls and we have to do everything the right way. Perspective is everything in every part of life, but especially umpiring. It's true. Perspective is why umpires get a lot of hate, and it's why they won't stop. I'm not saying that just because you're a coach and you're standing 60 feet away that you can't see the play. You probably saw it just like I did. It was close. But you're not right there where you've seen it. You didn't see that little foot get under that tag. That is why umpires will always be the scapegoat. Not saying they don't make mistakes. Trust me, I've had a few games where I made a few bad calls and the coaches let me slide for it. But umpires are truly some of the most athletic and intelligent people you'll ever meet. But you always gotta find a scapegoat in someone. From an umpire to a bunch of fans, coaches, and parents. Don't beat us up, but you're allowed to call me out when I make the wrong call.